There's a generation that remembers two worlds. One where you knocked on your friend's door to see if they could play, and another where you texted them from their driveway. If you were born between 1990 and 1999, you lived through something no generation before or after will experience: the complete transformation of human connection. And it happened while your brain was still forming. You remember a Saturday morning in 1997, waking up to the sound of nothing. No notifications, no alerts, no buzzing. You'd pour cereal, sit on the carpet, and watch whatever cartoon happened to be on at that exact moment. Miss it, and it was gone. No rewind, no pause, no search function. That constraint made everything feel heavier, more significant. You couldn't experience it later, so you experienced it completely now. Then you'd disappear outside until dinner. Not because it was healthy or because your parents enforced outdoor time. Because that's where life happened. The neighborhood was your territory. You'd ride bikes, build forts, create entire universes out of sticks and cardboard boxes. Research shows children in the 1990s spent 3 to 4 hours outside daily. Today's kids average less than 30 minutes. You were the last generation to experience unstructured play as the default setting of childhood. But here's where your psychology splits from everyone else. You didn't just live in that analog world. You watched it dissolve in real time. Somewhere around middle school, the internet arrived in your house, not in your pocket in a room. A specific machine that screamed when it connected and kicked everyone off the phone line. You'd wait 5 minutes for a single image to load. You'd spend hours in chat rooms with strangers, creating identities from scratch. Early social media felt like exploration, not performance. You were anonymous, experimental, free. By high school, everything accelerated. Broadband replaced dial-up, MySpace launched. Suddenly, you weren't just online, you were visible. Then Facebook opened beyond colleges, then Twitter, then Instagram as you entered your 20s. Each platform trained you to curate yourself more carefully, to measure your worth in metrics, to perform your life instead of living it. That transition created what researchers call a cognitive split. You learned two completely incompatible systems for existing in the world. The first system said your value came from who you were when nobody was watching. The second system said your value came from how many people watched. The first system taught patience, privacy, and presence. The second system taught performance, optimization, and constant availability. You're trying to operate both systems simultaneously, and they're tearing you in opposite directions. Studies from the University of California analyzed over 27,000 adults and found something striking. People born in the 1990s report significantly higher rates of depression and anxiety compared to those born in the 1980s. The gap widens with age. Technology and social media are obvious factors, but the real damage runs deeper. You were raised with one psychological framework, then forced to adopt another before you'd finished becoming yourself. Think about what that actually means. You developed your sense of identity in private. Your embarrassing moments stayed local. Your experiments with personality, style, beliefs, all of it happened without documentation. Then social media arrived and demanded you rebuild yourself in public, with an audience scoring every attempt. You learned that friendships required showing up, spending time together, sharing experiences nobody else could see. Then you watched those same friendships move online, where connection became content and intimacy became performance. The psychological whiplash isn't a flaw in you. It's the natural result of living through a transition nobody prepared you for. What researchers are starting to understand is that you're not experiencing normal generational differences. You're experiencing something closer to cultural displacement. The world you were built for disappeared. The world you inherited operates on completely different rules. And unlike immigrants who move between places, you can't return to the old country. It doesn't exist anymore except in your memory, which makes the loss feel both total and invisible. But there's another side to this displacement that nobody talks about. You possess something younger. Generations will never develop, and older generations can't fully comprehend. You're bilingual in a way that has nothing to do with spoken language. You understand analog patience and digital efficiency. You can work without constant connectivity because you remember productivity before smartphones. You can also leverage technology without being consumed by it because you adopted it consciously, not as a default state of existence. That's not nostalgia talking. That's practical advantage. When everyone around you melts down because the Wi-Fi cuts out, you remember an entire childhood that functioned without it. When younger colleagues can't focus without background noise and notifications, you can actually sit in silence because boredom used to be normal. You learn to entertain yourself with nothing, which means you're less dependent on external stimulation to function. But the advantage runs deeper than skills. It's about psychological range. You can connect authentically because you built friendships before metrics existed. You also understand digital communication because you learned it during your formative years. You move between both modes naturally. At work, you translate between older colleagues who resist new systems and younger ones who've never known anything else. You're the bridge nobody acknowledges, but everyone relies on. Research on generational adaptability shows that people who've navigated major cultural shifts develop higher tolerance for ambiguity. You don't need everything to make sense immediately. You've already lived through one world ending and another beginning. That gives you something rare in an era of constant change, the knowledge that you can survive transition. You've done it before. You'll do it again. Your nostalgia isn't weakness, it's data. When you feel that pull toward the past, you're not being sentimental. You're recognizing something that actually worked better. Unstructured time produced creativity. Face-to-face interaction built deeper connection. Privacy allowed genuine self-discovery. Those aren't romantic delusions. They're measurable benefits that disappeared when the world went digital. The exhaustion you feel isn't failure. It's the cost of operating two systems simultaneously. One part of you still expects the rhythms of the analog world. The other part has adapted to digital demands. You're not broken. You're just running twice as much processing as people who only know one system. Here's what matters going forward. You're now in your late 20s through mid-30s. You're entering the years when you'll shape workplaces, raise children, influence culture, and you carry something nobody else has, living memory of both worlds. That makes you the last generation who can teach what's being lost, not through lectures, through example. You can show your kids what it means to be bored and survive it. You can demonstrate that friendships don't require constant documentation. You can prove that identity exists independent of audience. You remember how, which means you can model it. You can also help older generations understand why digital natives behave the way they do. You learned both languages. You can translate not just the technology, but the psychology behind it. That positions you as the interpreter between generations that can't understand each other. The depression, the anxiety, the sense of displacement, they're real and they're valid. But they're also evidence that you're conscious of the trade-offs everyone else accepts without question. You feel the loss because you remember what existed before. That awareness is painful, but it's also valuable. It means you're not sleepwalking through the transition. You're experiencing it fully, which gives you choices others don't realize they have. You're not stuck between two worlds. You're fluent in both. That's not the same thing. One is paralysis, the other is capability. You can choose when to disconnect. You understand why it matters. You can engage deeply with technology without losing yourself inside it. You know the difference because you've lived both sides. The world changed while you were becoming yourself. And instead of breaking you, it taught you something nobody else got to learn. How to hold two incompatible truths simultaneously. How to adapt without erasing what came before. How to move forward while remembering what mattered about where you've been. That's not confusion. That's wisdom earned through transition, and it's exactly what this moment in history needs. You're not lost between eras. You're the only ones who can see both clearly enough to know what each one cost and what each one gave. The kids growing up now will never understand what they're missing. The adults who came before can't grasp what's been fundamentally altered. But you remember, and that memory isn't baggage. It's the exact perspective a world in constant transition desperately needs.